way of learning English. Leo felt utterly lost navigating the vast, intimidating ocean of English grammar. Every verb tense seemed to mock his valiant efforts relentlessly. He desperately yearned for fluency, yet traditional textbooks only deepened his despair and frustration. His dreams of effortless global communication felt impossibly distant, a shimmering mirage he could never grasp. He often wondered if he truly possessed the inherent linguistic talent required for such a monumental task. Conversations with native speakers became a terrifying ordeal, often ending in awkward silence. Leo would stammer, search for words, and feel his face flush crimson. He understood fragments, but forming coherent sentences felt like solving an unsolvable puzzle. This constant struggle chipped away at his motivation, making him question his entire journey. He sometimes considered giving up entirely. He had tried countless methods, flashcards, grammar drills, even memorizing entire dictionaries. Each approach promised breakthroughs but delivered only fleeting moments of hope before fizzling out. The sheer volume of vocabulary and complex sentence structures overwhelmed him daily. He yearned for a way of learning English that actually resonated, something beyond tedious memorization. His personal library swelled with English learning guides, each proclaiming itself the ultimate solution. Yet, none provided the key he desperately sought. Leo felt like an explorer without a compass, adrift in a sea of unknown words. His progress was minimal, his confidence dwindling with every failed attempt to express himself clearly. He needed a different path. One dreary, rain-soaked afternoon, scrolling through countless generic online tutorials, Leo stumbled upon a peculiar video. Its thumbnail glowed with an unusual vibrancy, promising not just a lesson, but a very interesting story. Intrigued by its unconventional title, he paused his aimless scrolling. A flicker of fresh hope ignited within him, a tiny spark. The video's description hinted at a transformative journey, an unconventional pathway to fluency. It spoke of passion, immersion, and discovery, rather than strict rules. Leo, desperate for any genuine breakthrough, clicked the play button with a hesitant but curious finger. He hoped this wasn't just another empty promise, another fleeting dream. The narrator's voice was calm, encouraging, and filled with genuine empathy. He began by sharing his own struggles, making Leo feel instantly understood. This wasn't a dry academic lecture, it was a personal narrative of triumph over linguistic challenges. The video immediately captivated Leo's full attention, promising something truly different. The core principle introduced was surprisingly simple yet profound: listen and practice. The narrator emphasized passive listening first, exposing oneself to authentic English content constantly. Leo started by playing English podcasts during his commute, not worrying about understanding every single word, just getting accustomed to the sounds. He also began watching English TV shows and movies with English subtitles. This approach helped him connect written words with spoken sounds, enhancing his recognition. The aim was to build an intuitive feel for the language's rhythm and pronunciation, rather than dissecting every sentence. It felt less like studying and more like engaging. Gradually, Leo moved to active listening. He would replay short segments, focusing on intonation, stress, and specific word pronunciations. He used apps that allowed him to slow down audio, mimicking the speaker's cadences. This meticulous practice honed his auditory perception, making previously muddled sounds distinct and clear. The next vital step was English talking practice. The video urged viewers to overcome their fear of making mistakes, emphasizing that errors were essential for growth. Leo, initially terrified, started by speaking to himself in front of a mirror, describing his day's activities aloud, however awkwardly. He then bravely sought out online language exchange partners. His first conversations were halting, filled with pauses and blunders, but he persisted. He found patient individuals willing to correct him gently. This direct interaction proved invaluable for building real-time communication skills and boosting his spoken confidence significantly. The narrator stressed that how to improve your English was an ongoing process, not a destination. It required consistent effort across multiple domains. Leo started dedicating specific time slots each day to different aspects: 30 minutes for listening, 30 for speaking, 20 for reading, and 10 for writing. This structured approach brought discipline to his learning journey. He realized that sporadic efforts yielded minimal results, while consistent, focused practice delivered tangible progress. He tracked his daily activities, celebrating small victories, which kept his motivation high. This systematic method truly began transforming his learning experience. He also learned the importance of setting realistic, achievable goals. Instead of aiming for perfect fluency overnight, he focused on mastering specific grammatical structures or expanding vocabulary related to particular topics. This incremental progress felt less daunting and more rewarding, encouraging continuous effort. The video then presented crucial talking tips, which Leo eagerly absorbed. The first tip: don't translate in your head. Try to think directly in English, even if it's just simple words initially. This advice resonated deeply, challenging his old habit of literal translation. Second tip: use filler words like like, or to buy yourself time while formulating thoughts. This made his speech sound more natural and less robotic. Third, paraphrase when you don't know a specific word. Focus on conveying the message using simpler vocabulary. Fourth tip: record yourself speaking and listen back critically. This helped Leo identify his recurring pronunciation errors and awkward phrasing. Fifth, imitate native speakers. Pay attention to their rhythm, stress patterns, and common expressions. This active imitation refined his accent and made his speech more fluent. These practical talking tips were game changers for Leo. They provided concrete strategies to overcome common speaking hurdles. He felt empowered, realizing that fluency wasn't about flawless grammar, but effective communication. He started applying these tips immediately, experiencing noticeable improvements in his conversational flow. The video redefined how to learn English as an immersive lifestyle change. It wasn't just about studying, it was about living English. Leo changed his phone's language setting to English, started following English-speaking content creators, and even tried cooking recipes written solely in English. He began labeling objects around his house with their English names, constantly reinforcing vocabulary. His environment slowly transformed into a living English classroom. This constant exposure, even to mundane things, significantly accelerated his intuitive grasp of the language and its everyday usage patterns. Another powerful recommendation was to find English-speaking friends or join online communities where English was the primary language. This provided organic opportunities for authentic conversation and cultural exchange, far beyond textbook scenarios. Leo joined several international forums, engaging in lively discussions daily. The narrator also suggested using English to describe his daily routine internally. I'm walking to the kitchen. I need to make some coffee. It's quite cold today. This internal monologue was a pivotal exercise, bridging the gap between passive comprehension and active thought. This practice of how to think and speak revolutionized Leo's mental processing. Instead of forming thoughts in his native language and then translating, he started constructing ideas directly in English. This reduced hesitation and improved his speaking speed dramatically, making conversations much more fluid. He found that thinking in English not only improved his speaking but also enhanced his writing skills. The internal narration helped him structure sentences more naturally. It became a mental gym, constantly exercising his English muscles, preparing him for spontaneous communication in any situation. The video passionately advocated for why reading is so important. It explained that reading expanded vocabulary beyond conversational limits and introduced complex grammatical structures in context. Leo started with graded readers tailored to his level, gradually moving to authentic materials. He began reading English news articles daily, staying informed while simultaneously learning new terminology. This exposed him to formal language and different writing styles, enriching his overall comprehension. Reading fiction provided narratives that captivated his interest, making the learning process enjoyable. When encountering unknown words, Leo avoided immediately looking them up. Instead, he tried to infer their meaning from context, a crucial skill for fluency. He kept a dedicated notebook for new vocabulary, but only after attempting to deduce meaning first. This strategy improved his contextual understanding. Reading also provided a deeper insight into English-speaking cultures, which enhanced his understanding of common idioms and expressions. It wasn't just about words, it was about cultural context. This holistic approach made the language feel more alive and less like a sterile academic subject. The video circled back to listen and practice, but with a new emphasis: active shadowing. This technique involved listening to an audio track and speaking simultaneously with the narrator, mimicking their pace, intonation, and rhythm. It was challenging but immensely rewarding. Leo practiced shadowing with podcasts and YouTube videos, initially feeling awkward and slow. However, with persistent effort, he noticed his pronunciation improving significantly. His mouth and tongue muscles adapted to the new sounds, making English articulation feel more natural and effortless. He realized that effective English talking practice wasn't just about speaking, but about hearing himself speak correctly. Shadowing provided immediate feedback, allowing him to compare his output with the native speakers. This self-correction loop accelerated his progress remarkably, refining his spoken English. The very interesting story shared in the video was not just about techniques, it was about resilience. The narrator shared moments of frustration, plateaus, and breakthroughs, humanizing the entire language learning process. Leo felt a profound connection, knowing his struggles were normal. This narrative approach motivated him far more than any dry instructional manual ever could. It transformed learning from a chore into an exciting personal adventure. Leo embraced the ups and downs, understanding that every mistake was a stepping stone towards ultimate fluency. Months turned into a year, and Leo's English transformed dramatically. He could now hold fluid conversations, express complex ideas, and even understand jokes in English. His confidence soared, replacing his previous anxiety with genuine enjoyment and enthusiasm for communication. He surprised himself daily with how naturally English flowed from him. No longer did he translate word for word, thoughts formed directly in English, ready to be articulated. The seamless connection between thought and speech was the ultimate reward for his dedication. His friends and family, who had witnessed his initial struggles, were astonished by his remarkable progress. They often asked him for talking tips, eager to learn his secret. Leo, remembering the video, happily shared his journey and the powerful methods he discovered. He created his own online content, recounting his very interesting story of transformation. He titled it Way of Learning English, My Journey to Fluency, inspiring thousands who faced similar challenges. His message resonated widely, empowering learners worldwide to adopt effective strategies. Leo particularly emphasized the constant need for listen and practice. He stressed that immersing oneself in authentic English audio daily was non-negotiable for true progress. He encouraged learners to find content they genuinely enjoyed, making the process sustainable and fun. For English talking practice, he advocated for fearlessness. Don't wait until you're perfect, he'd advise. Speak now, make mistakes, and learn from them. Every stumble is a step forward. His honesty about his own struggles made his advice incredibly relatable and actionable. He highlighted how to improve your English as a holistic endeavor. It wasn't just about drills but about integrating English into every aspect of life. From reading English news to thinking in English during mundane tasks, every small habit contributed significantly. Leo's talking tips became legendary among his followers. He taught them to focus on communication over grammatical precision, to use body language, and to ask clarifying questions. These simple yet powerful tips demystified the art of conversation for many learners. He explained how to learn English was less about innate talent and more about consistent, strategic application. He dismissed the myth of natural learners, asserting that anyone could achieve fluency with dedication and the right approach. His story was living proof. A key takeaway from his story was how to think and speak effectively. He shared his technique of internal narration, describing its power in building mental fluency. This exercise, he explained, transformed passive knowledge into active, usable language for real-world scenarios. Leo passionately explained why reading is so important, urging learners to read widely and voraciously. He emphasized that reading provides a vast reservoir of vocabulary and idiomatic expressions that speaking alone cannot supply. It's the foundation for nuanced communication. He showed how reading provided context for new words, making them easier to remember and use correctly. He encouraged readers to look for patterns, connect ideas, and truly engage with the text. Reading, for him, was a gateway to deeper understanding. His story illustrated that continuous listen and practice reshaped his brain's auditory processing. He could now discern subtle differences in accents and intonation, making him a more effective listener and communicator in diverse settings. It was a skill that constantly evolved. Leo's journey proved that the way of learning English was not a linear path but a dynamic, evolving process. It required adaptability, persistence, and a willingness to step outside one's comfort zone. His transformation was a beacon of hope. He now hosts live English talking practice sessions, offering a safe space for learners to apply his tips directly. He fosters an encouraging environment where mistakes are celebrated as learning opportunities, mirroring the philosophy from the video that first inspired him. Leo's ultimate advice for how to improve your English was simple: make it enjoyable. Find joy in the small victories, celebrate progress, and never stop exploring the language's rich tapestry. Passion fuels persistence, and persistence leads to fluency. His personal, very interesting story of overcoming linguistic barriers resonated globally. It transcended mere language lessons, becoming a tale of self-improvement and dedication. He showed that learning English was a profound journey of personal growth. The impact of his journey, originally sparked by a video, now rippled across the world. He was living proof that consistent listen and practice, combined with fearless English talking practice, could unlock immense potential in anyone. He continued to advocate for active engagement, stressing that how to learn English was an adventure, not a chore. His enthusiastic approach made the daunting task of language acquisition seem attainable and exciting for countless aspiring learners. Leo often concluded his talks with a powerful reminder: the journey to fluency is unique for everyone, but the core principles remain universal. Embrace mistakes, stay curious, and immerse yourself daily. How to think and speak will follow naturally. His profound understanding of why reading is so important led him to recommend diverse materials, from fiction to academic papers. He truly believed in the power of words. His journey, from struggle to success, became a guiding light for others.